Recording it.
Needs
a piece that we have to unplug and plug again.
Reboot.
Okay. So are we ready? Welcome everyone to our weekly business meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 27th, 2019. Time is 2:02 p.m. I'm officially calling this meeting to order. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios, and I'm going to ask Nick Snyder to lead us in the pledge, please.
Be honored. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay then, so our first item will be the consent calendar. That's item C on our agenda. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for August 27th, 2019.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye, motion carried. Moving on to the payables list.
I move that we approve the payables for the week of August 19th through the 23rd, 2019 in the amount of $443,441.19, along with jury panel payments in the amount of $978.36.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye, motion carried. That was item D. So moving on to item E, we do have changes to the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Tiffany, would you comment, please?
Yeah, so these are two contracts that we need to move forward with because they're time sensitive as they've held spots for us to run these PSAs. The PSA's purposes are to promote Alert Kootenai as September's Preparedness Month, so that's the target for that.
Okay. So does everyone agree that this is time sensitive?
Yeah, do you want a motion for that, Dave? Okay.
Okay, so let's go.
I move that we add items 1 and 2 under changes to the agenda due to their time-sensitive nature.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye. Contracts for Cody County Preparedness and Regal Cinema Preparedness are added to the agenda. And we'll take those up at the tail end of our action items. So item number 1, under action items, public hearing, proposed fee changes, resolution 2019-74, solid waste.
Yes, Commissioners. Cathy, Mayor, Solid Waste Director. These are proposed fee changes to the solid waste program fees. As I mentioned before when we discussed this briefly, was that bulk of the fees are a reduction. The main one is the new residential solid waste assessment that goes out to about 61,000 residents. It will drop from 93 down to 88. That's over a 5% reduction. The other main one is the gate fee that's charged at the scales for the commercial haulers, and it will go from $67.70 down to $65. That's about a 4% reduction. And we're able to offer a reduction because we have had efficiencies in our operations. We've also had a number of years with strong revenue coming in. With increased waste, we've seen increased revenue. And so we'd like to have the ability to have the money go back to ratepayers in Kootenai County.
Nice move. Any questions for Cathy Mayor?
No.
Okay. Any other testimony, because this is a public hearing? Any rebuttal? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion that we close public testimony and enter into deliberations.
I move that we close the public portion of this hearing and we enter into deliberations.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Filios.
Aye. Entering into deliberations. Concerns, questions, anything?
Nope.
Okay, let's have a motion.
I move that we approve the proposed fee changes as listed in Resolution 2019-74 for solid waste.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye. Aye, motion carried. Resolution 2019-74 is approved, and it will hopefully benefit many of our residents. Thank you so much, Cathy, Mayor. Item number 2, 2012-2020. Excuse me, Idaho County's Risk Management Program, ICRIMP Insurance, Policy Renewal, Human Resources, and we welcome John Getty as well, our ICRIMP representative. Thank you, John. Cecilia?
For the record, Cecilia Sweet, HR Generalist, compliance. We are requesting approval of the county ICRIMP liability insurance policy. I've included the schedules and the summary of the policy changes for your review. There is a slight increase to this year's premium from last year, a 2% increase of $14,811. The premiums are based on 3 primary factors, which are claims activities, payroll, and property values. And then also, we would appreciate the board's acknowledgement of the business meeting memo for the 2 premium payments, which are due on October 1st and April 1st.
Okay. And I would imagine that of the 3 criteria by which the increases are measured, that the greatest one would be the increase in property values? Is that a fair statement?
Mr. Chairman, it probably is in this case,
Okay.
although the property rate is just minuscule. They've got over $7 billion insured statewide, and they can get very, very attractive rates because of that.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, can we have a motion then?
I move that we approve the 2019-2020 Idaho County's Risk Management Program, ICRIMP, insurance policy renewal with 2 payments, one of them in the amount of $755,393, due on October 1st, 2019, and then the remaining balance due on April 1st, 2020, in the amount, okay, hold on a second, I think that we have to, the first number I mentioned is a payment that has to go out today. Is that right? Be approved for today?
No,
October
No?
1st.
October 1st.
Okay, because then it says,
755, I believe, is the total on that.
It
oh,
is.
gotcha, okay.
Mhm.
So 755,393 is the total, 50% due on October
There you
1st,
go.
and then 50% on April 1st
Right.
in the amount of $377,696.50.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chairman Philios?
Aye, motion carried. Thank you. Item number 3, letter of agreement for recreation improvement funding, Avista contract, Parks and Waterways. And I think I'll take the pleasure of introducing this. Thanks to the valiant efforts of Nick Snyder and his staff, and the generous contribution of $60,000 from Avista Corp., we're going to be planting 20 heavy-duty buoys on the Spokane River, and hopefully that will happen soon, shortly before the next boating season, but more than likely toward the tail end of this one. Nick, why don't you elaborate further?
Thank you, Commissioner Nick Snyder, for the record. But you summed it up in that Avista, through their FERC licensing requirement, is required to put forth monies toward recreational endeavors. That certainly being public safety is probably number 1. The river, I think, with all the activity this summer, is an appropriate choice for that. So there is an agreement before you that contemplates providing that $60,000, but it's important. I'm glad Director Darrow's in the room today, because this wasn't budgeted per se. This is reimbursable, so we will have to expend the funds. It is not in my budget, so if I need to bring that back at a separate meeting, but I will work directly with our finance director to work through how we're going to handle that. But it is important to understand it is reimbursable. But yeah, we're very lucky to receive those fundings. 5 other agencies could have received it.
When's the installation? What are you hoping for?
Well, we'd like to do it right away, but we're at the mercy of marine contractor schedules. It will take a large barge, and if the water levels drop, which they do right after Labor Day too quickly, we may have to wait till spring. But certainly before the boating season,
Okay.
2020.
Questions? Motion?
I move that we accept the letter of agreement for the recreational improvement funding with Avista and their contract with Parks and Waterways.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 4, fiscal year 20 Indigent Defense Grant Award, Public Defender. A smiling Ann Taylor.
Yes, Commissioners, we received a letter on August 14th detailing amounts of money that this county can receive to carry out indigent defense to meet the Public Defense Commission's standards. My request is that each commissioner sign the award letter and allow us to receive the money.
And for the benefit of everyone in the room, can you provide a little detail?
Well, the Public Defense Commission is an oversight group run by the state of Idaho to make sure we're doing a good job providing indigent defense. They give us money, offer us money to meet our standards to help provide for our clients. This year in particular, they have done a workload study and have suggested that we use quite a bit of the money to have new positions to meet the caseload standards that they've set.
Okay. And I thought it was interesting at our IAC District 1 meeting last Friday morning when our prosecutor Barry McHugh asked about the level of funding for other counties. And of the, I guess it's fair to say the 10 northern counties that are within this particular PDC region, I have to tell you that every grant I heard did not even come close to what they're granting. And so Ann is looking at a minimum of 8. Go ahead.
They are suggesting that we have 8.5 lawyers and 4.5 other staff, not otherwise defined,
Okay.
added to what we already have now.
Thank you. Okay. So the state is very much committed to indigent public defense. I think that's the bottom line here. Okay then, so motion?
Can we, just for the
Sure,
record,
go
see
ahead.
what the amount of the grant was?
Sure.
Yes, it's just, go ahead Leslie, you're looking at it. It's just over 1.5 million.
Yeah.
The total, okay, anyway, the total amount is 1,571,567.87.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So
So we okay then? Questions? Motion?
I move that we accept the FY20 Indigent Defense Grant Award for the Public Defender.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. And just for clarification, the way it breaks out is primary attorney, salary and benefits. I'm just gonna round it off, just a little over 785,000. Support staff salaries and benefits, just under 255,000. So that's how they break it out. Okay, so we'll move on to item number 5, the agreement with Kootenai School District number 274. That would be Harrison for School Resource Officer, Sheriff's Organization.
Lieutenant Scott Maxwell for the record. Simply we're seeking approval to get that agreement where the school district picks up 70%, we pick up 30%. I believe you have it before you.
Okay.
Do you know if the 30% will be from marine funding, if this is gonna kind of be a shared position?
Funding,
I think the auditor may know that.
yes,
I wanna jump in front.
jump.
Okay.
Okay, jump in.
Dearly, Dina Darrow, Finance Director, for the record, I'm jumping forward. 30% would be funded by the Vessel Fund,
Vessel
Fund
Fund.
37,
Yeah,
and 70% by the school.
great.
Okay.
Now, if we can get a few more of those, that would be great.
Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the agreement with Kootenai School District number 274 for the school resource officer.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 6, consent to sublease for a Mr. or Ms. Olson, Aerospray, doing business as Dauntless Air for our airport. Stephen Kiergaard.
Commissioner Stephen Kiro for the record, this is a consent to sublease for fulfilling Mr. Olson's requirement for his lease agreements following our standard sublease consent agreement that's before you. It's no change in ownership or any change in money, it's just a consent to sublease.
Okay. Motion.
I move that we approve the consent to sublease with Olson DBA Aerospray Dauntless Air for the airport.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 7, contract for administration and elections parking lots with La Riviere Inc. Shawn Riley for the Board of County Commissioners. Shawn?
Good afternoon, Commissioner Shawn Riley for the record. A couple weeks ago, we awarded the bid to T. La Riviere Inc. in the amount of $513,467. So today, I'm asking that we go ahead and approve the contract and sign it. And also at this time, sign the notice to proceed, starting construction on both lots at the same time on September 9th. Substantial completion is set in 50 days, and final completion will be no later than October 31st. And there will be some parking inconveniences, to say the least, so Nancy and I have been working on a memo from the board to try to get the information out.
How many more spots?
You're picking up 11 more spots here and 16 or 17 more spots at 3rd Street.
Interesting.
Because we're gonna take our property line all the way to where it's supposed to be at 3rd Street. And then, I might add that both projects, one of the main parts of the design was the safety part of it. So now the approach will not, the cars cannot drive by the front door at 3rd Street like
Okay.
they do right now. And then this approach in the admin lot will be moved down to the south, and it'll be wider so cars can come in and out instead of getting stuck and backing up on Government Way. And then the traffic flow in this particular parking lot will be like the one we just did last year. You'll come in the approach, and then you'll be able to choose which way you wanna go. So everybody's not going in a circle and dodging each other. Cars and
You
people.
play
So-
musical cars, the musical parking spots. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, questions? Go right ahead.
I can see the elections parking lot, that's a dangerous situation, I mean, truly dangerous. People walk right behind cars as they're trying to back up. I know there's some stacking here, but I feel like here, if employees didn't park here, if truly it says right in the sign that this is for customers of Kootenai County, it doesn't say employee parking, but I'd venture to guess 40% of the spaces are taken up by employees.
It's probably accurate.
I don't think that's far off.
No, maybe
And
10% below,
Yeah.
actually.
For me, even being in the handicap situation, parking across the street, because I don't want to see some disabled or elderly person coming up that slip place there from the lower parking lot out here in the middle of winter and falling. Just for humanitarian purposes, let alone liability purposes. I mean, that could be serious stuff. So I would have liked to see the two projects split, and I'm totally in favor of the elections and totally against this one here. But since they're not split, I'm gonna vote against it.
Right.
How did it break out financially, Shawn? Roughly?
300 down here,
I think this,
Yeah.
the admin was close to 300, and then elections
150.
was like a 180 or something, somewhere right in
Okay,
there.
all right.
I didn't bring it with me, but
wasn't horrible.
there's more work
302
here with
than
getting rid of the
211.
swale
Right,
and,
right, right.
getting the extra spaces and moving the approach down, so, and I understand,
I know,
talked
we've
about
all talked about it. It's-
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Leslie, any questions?
Oh,
You okay?
I'm good.
Okay. So once again, so then do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the contract for admin and elections parking lots with La Riviere Inc. And sign the notice to proceed on September 9th, 2019, so the projects can run concurrently.
Should we stipulate the amount, Dave?
Sure.
And the admin parking lot, $302,233, and elections parking lot, $211,234.
Okay. I'll have to second this one.
Bill Brooks.
No,
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios,
Aye. Motion carried. Item number 8, service agreement with A&W Cleaning for buildings and grounds.
Christy Kane, Buildings and Grounds, for the record. This is a service agreement for window washing and pressure washing of the buildings on the campus. It's a 3-year agreement. It can be terminated with 30-day notice, no penalties. The reason for this agreement is that it is less costly than for the buildings and grounds guys to rent the equipment and do it themselves. And it gives them more time to stay on top of the other projects.
So in the past, were they doing it themselves? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the service agreement with A&W Cleaning.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios,
Aye, motion carried. Item number 9, agreement with Verizon Wireless Service Accounts, SDS Wireless Consulting LLC, Board of Commissioners, Nancy Jones.
Nancy Jones for the record, Commissioners. As you are aware, over the last 18 to 24 months, VOCC staff has been working to try and bring down our Verizon wireless bills of the county. We feel that there are significant savings to be had. What we discovered during the course of that project is that without in-depth information regarding how Verizon sets up their accounts, how government accounts are different, it's very difficult to actually achieve those savings. SDS Wireless is a company that specializes in this service. This is a contract that would allow them to go in to review all of our accounts, to start amending those accounts, combining them, find those savings, and then we would pay them 45% of those savings. The contract is for 24 months overall. Legal did recommend, and the company agreed to a 12-month renewal that has to be a non-appropriation addendum in this. We did check multiple references who have worked with this company. All were very impressed with the savings they were able to realize. The one issue with this is that, of course, because they are taking a percentage of savings, we currently have this budgeted under telephone expenditures, so we'll have to work with the auditor's office. We'll pay for it out of consultants, and then work to have those funds transferred from the phone accounts to consultants in the budget.
Okay. Questions? Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the agreement with SDS Wireless Consulting.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios,
Aye, motion carried. Moving on to item 10, the appointment of Ed Piletsky to the Waterways Advisory Board. I did have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Piletsky yesterday, and I'm perfectly fine. Nick, I think he comes with your recommendation as well.
I support the appointment, Commissioner.
I read it. He's good.
Okay. Motion.
And
I'm sorry.
just to be clear, in this term, the only term that is open on this board at this time is through the end of next year. So during our appointments next fall, we'll bring this forward again for the board either to allow him to continue serving under this application or to reapply next fall. Okay.
Understood. Go right ahead.
I move that we approve the appointment of Mr. Piletsky to Waterways Advisory Board.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Philios,
Aye, motion carried. So what I'm gonna do is move on back up to the changes that we made to the agenda.
We have two more. Two more.
Oh, no, I was gonna come back to those. I'm inserting this ahead of the surplus.
No.
Okay. Haha, fooled you. Anyway, glad I forgot that. Okay, so changes to the agenda. Item number 1 is a contract with Coyote Country Preparedness, PSA, with our Office of Emergency Management. And this is a, what's the term I'm looking for? Not an emergency, give me the other term.
Time
Time sensitive, thank you. Does the board agree that this is time sensitive?
Yes.
Motion.
Well, the items were already added, Commissioners, so.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're
but
just,
we
we're
didn't
going
vote on
through
them.
them. No, but she,
Do you want me to talk about them?
sure.
Okay.
Oh, I thought, go right ahead.
No, she just talked about how they were time sensitive.
Tiffany Westbrook for the rest of record. The contract with Coyote Country was gonna be paid for, both of these are gonna be paid for through our SHSP funding. Coyote Country will reach about 52,000 people, and the purpose of this ad is to promote, alert Kootenai to them and help them sign up in the month of September, as September is Preparedness Month.
Okay, as long as you're on it, go on to the second one.
And the second one with Regal Cinemas will run 54 times a day, with a total of 1,680 shows, and it is also going to be paid for through the SHSP funding. And the purpose of this as well is to get the public to be aware of Alert Kootenai and have them sign up during the month of September, as it is Preparedness Month.
And how much are these costing?
The Coyote Country contract's gonna run us $900, and the Regal Cinemas $1,011.43, and both will be paid for with our SHSP funding.
Okay. Questions? Motion.
I move that we approve the contract with Coyote Country for our preparedness PSAs and the, do you want them separate?
You can make them together.
Okay, and the contract with Regal Cinemas for the preparedness PSAs.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. So then we're moving on to our final two resolutions. First one is 2019-71, surplus equipment, public defender, and
We have a copier printer that is non-functional anymore, and we are seeking to have it disposed of.
motion?
Did we wanna combine, is it the same?
No,
It's
two
two different
different
items.
organizations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I move that we approve resolution 2019-71 for the surplus equipment, for the public defender.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Final item on our agenda, resolution 2019-72 to surplus equipment asset deletion, our sheriff's organization.
Yes, Bridget Kearns for the Sheriff's Office for the record. So I recently performed an audit of our inventory, and I found a significant amount of assets that were under the $5,000, and I wanted to get those deleted off because they're either fully depreciated, obsolete, or they don't meet the current criteria of the capital assets. But I will be tracking these, not the auditor's office. They will still be part of our inventory, but not for the financial perspective of the auditor's office.
Okay, I see Jolena nodding, so I'm good.
Or like Isaac.
That was Isaac, but yes.
Anyway.
Isaac Owen for the record. These assets, a lot of them, when we were going through the inventory,
Yes.
the detectives and other people were saying, why are these assets? There's like game cameras, old radios that are getting, obsolete and things like that. And there were some assets that are attached to vehicles and things. And so we talked with iCrimp, and they said that we could just add, that John would add the value to those vehicles themselves, so we wouldn't be, at risk as far as an insurance loss by taking these items off of the list, is our understanding.
Okay, fair enough. Motion?
I move that we approve resolution 2019-72 and the surplus equipment deletion, I guess you'd say.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Final item, public comment. None, 2:30, meeting adjourned. Thank you.